Right now, there is only one kind of human on Earth. Every single person you have ever met, every face in every crowd, in every country, belongs to the same species. That feels completely normal. It isn't. For almost the entire history of our kind, you would have shared this planet with other humans. Not distant ancestors. Neighbors. Different species of human, who walked, and talked, and buried their dead. There were as many as 9 of them. Today, there is only us. This is the story of what happened to the others. To understand how strange our loneliness really is, go back 300,000 years, to the moment our species, Homo sapiens, first appears. We did not arrive on an empty stage. The world was already full of humans. In the cold forests of Europe were the Neanderthals. Stronger than us, with brains as big or bigger. They made tools, controlled fire, cared for their sick, and buried their dead with what looks a lot like grief. In the mountains of Asia were the Denisovans, a lineage so mysterious we barely knew it existed, until scientists sequenced DNA from a single fingertip bone, and realized it belonged to no human they had ever seen. On a remote Indonesian island lived Homo floresiensis, a species of human barely a meter tall, with a brain the size of an orange, who still hunted with stone tools. Scientists nicknamed them the hobbits. In the caves of South Africa was Homo naledi, with an ape-sized brain, who may have carried their dead deep underground, into the dark, on purpose. And there were others. Homo luzonensis in the Philippines. The mysterious dragon man in China. And late surviving Homo erectus, the great traveler, who had already walked the earth for nearly 2 million years. For almost all of our history, being human did not mean being alone. It meant being one branch on a crowded, tangled tree. That famous picture of evolution, a single ape slowly straightening up into a modern man, marching in a neat line, is a myth. The truth was a bush. And we were just one twig on it. Here is where the story takes a turn that almost nobody expected. We did not just live alongside these other humans. We met them. And when we met them, we fell in love. Or at least, something like it. For a long time, scientists assumed the different human species stayed apart. Then, in 2010, they finished sequencing the Neanderthal genome, and the result was staggering. If your ancestors came from anywhere outside Africa, roughly 2% of your DNA is Neanderthal. Not a distant cousin's. Yours. Written into your body, right now. The Denisovans left an even deeper mark. People across parts of Oceania and Southeast Asia carry as much as 4 to 6% Denisovan DNA. Genes that helped some of them survive high in the mountains, in air so thin it would leave the rest of us gasping. And it goes further. Hidden inside our genome are fragments from populations we have never found. No bones. No skulls. No name. Scientists call them ghost lineages. Entire kinds of human that have vanished so completely, the only trace they left behind is a whisper in our DNA. So the other humans did not simply disappear. Some of them were absorbed. When you look in the mirror, you are not seeing the last survivor of a single, pure line. You are seeing a mosaic. A blend of several kinds of human, who met, tens of thousands of years ago, and slowly became one. They are extinct. And they are also, quietly, still here. Inside you. Which leaves the biggest question of all. If the world was once full of humans, where did everyone go? The honest answer is that we still don't fully know. But we have clues. Around 40,000 years ago, one by one, the other human species vanished. The Neanderthals faded from Europe. The hobbits disappeared from their island. The Denisovans slipped into silence. And in almost every case, they vanished not long after we arrived. Maybe we simply outcompeted them, with sharper tools, wider trade networks, and a strange talent for imagining things that did not yet exist. Maybe a shifting climate finished what competition had started. Or maybe, in some places, we did not replace them at all. We married into them, until their line quietly dissolved into ours. Most likely, it was all of these at once. But the result was the same. For the first time in the history of our kind, the great tree of humanity was pruned down to a single living branch. Ours. Think about what that really means. For millions of years, to be human was to be one of many. Then, in a geological instant, we became alone. The only species clever enough to wonder why there is no one else quite like us. We stare up at the stars and ask if we are alone in the universe. But we forget a far stranger truth. We are already alone. Here. On our own planet. We are the last human. And we very nearly weren't.